Welcome to the 7th season of the television series Steppin' Outdoors. I'm your host, Stephanie Rainey. I've combined my passion for the outdoors along with my experience as an outdoor writer and videographer to present to you a television show filled with exciting outdoor adventures from the beautiful White Mountains of Arizona. Join me each week as I venture into the outdoors to bring you programs about the fascinating people and places of northern Arizona. All of this while providing you a glimpse into what awaits us all in the great outdoors. Welcome to another edition of Steppin' Outdoors. Today's show is all about tracking, the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, and everything in between. It's a really interesting show, so be sure and stay tuned.
Hello everyone, my name is Freddy Osuna. I'm from the Tracking Training Center in Sierra Vista, Arizona, and I'm here to talk about tracking and how it applies and can be helpful to hunters and outdoorsmen. I've served 9 years in the Marine Corps, and I was in the Jungle Warfare Training School in Okinawa, Japan, and they taught us how to track animals for sustenance and how to survive in the jungles. After that, about 2005, I went through a course called Tactical Tracking Operations School, and they showed us how we could track other human beings and the ins and outs of tracking. That was a 2-week course, and so I've had a little bit of tracking. I've always been interested in it my whole life, and now I've been teaching for the U.S. Army and Department of Defense for the last 2 years, and I teach different soldiers, Marines, sailors, and airmen how to track human beings and how it might be able to apply to their jobs, and most importantly, to keep them safer. All right. Today we have Brandon Radacci helping us out. How you doing, Brandon?
Good.
All right. Brandon is a level 1 tracker. He's been through some of my training, Tactical Tracking Operations Schools training, and he can probably speak of how hunting can help him out when it comes to tracking. So what we're going to do is Brandon is going to be a demonstrator for us. He's going to be a lost hunter, all right, and we're going to be playing the role of search and rescue and some tips for that search and rescue is going to look for while they're trying to make contact with a lost hunter. Okay? Okay. Alright, so what we're doing here is we want to determine his last point seen. And last point seen is going to be determined by different ways. It might be victims or witnesses in the area who saw this hunter that's lost. It might be from, last point seen might be his campsite. So what they're going to do when they get there is they're going to collect, as trackers, collect what type of footwear they think he's wearing, and they're going to make a sketch and take photographs of that track. Along with the photographs, they're going to have a measuring tape or some type of measuring device for a frame of reference. For instance, you're not always going to get a perfect boot pattern or shoe pattern. And for an example of this is the terrain we're in right now. When that lost hunter walked through this grass would be categorized as aerial spoor. Aerial spoor is anything above the top edge of the hilt of the boot. It's as high as a man can reach or as high as equipment is. It can be a broken branch, or it can be just bent down grass indicating direction of travel. So right now we can see a little bit of a blaze from pressure going through in this direction. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find what is called confirmatory spoor. Aerial spoor is never confirmatory spoor to me, and that's my opinion. I'm not the world master of tracking. I just tell what I know. So what I'm going to look for is not bent grass. I'm going to look for bent grass, and then I'm going to look at the dirt underneath that grass, and that will give me my confirmatory spoor. And I will feel it 100% in my gut that that's the guy I need to follow, and hopefully we can catch him before the next storm comes in. So we're going to move here. We can see small indicators here, and as I see a real good one for you, I'll point it out. and here's one way up here. This would be aerial spore. And how I can confirm this usually is what I do is I brush across. Right here we have aerial spore indicating the direction of travel. This sage type plant right here was stepped on. I can take my measuring tape and see the disturbance to the right, disturbance to the left, and that's 4 inches. 4 inches is the average width of a man's boot, especially hunting boots, because they're made hardier and thicker. So you're going to find that those boots are about 4 inches in width. Now, what I try and determine is the length of the boot. Through this aerial spore, I might be able to do that. So I can find the furthest disturbance to the front, furthest disturbance to the rear, and that'll give me my size of my boot. And right here, I have a pretty good idea of where the toe is. Right here I have grass. This grass, or this stick of grass, is actually smashed down at one point right here. If you look right there. And then I look around it and I also see other disturbance, like these leaves turned over. Plants grow a certain way, and it's the most efficient way that it can capture sun and water. And when a human walks over that vegetation, they disturb it and they take it out of its natural balance. That plant is slowly going to recover with the winds and with the need to capture more sun. So slowly throughout the day, this grass, so we'll get our measurement first and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so my furthest disturbance to the front is here, so I mark my 1 inch line here, and my rear disturbance is about the 13 here. So about 13 inches in length for the boot, 4 inches wide in the heel. Alright. So now I have a good idea of how big this guy's, this hunter, his boot is. So as the day goes on, through irritation from the wind, because there's always wind, that plant is slowly going to raise and return to its natural state. So that gives me what I call sign. This sign specifically tells me how long ago that happened, and that's determined by how fast this recovers. So if I'm in tune with the plants and vegetation, the flora and fauna of my environment, I'll be a better tracker, because I'm doing that's something that hunters should always be aware of: situational awareness in their environment. And pick up a book and read about this plant, because this plant's going to do things like, when it's broken, it's going to have a strong smell. And if you're downwind from that plant, you might be able to smell that fresh break in it, and that can actually, using all your senses, is what trackers do. Alright, so now the rain started. One thing to consider as this rain is coming down, it's also wiping out some of our spore. In very few instances and specific types of terrain, rain will help you. But in this case, what's going to happen is it's going to wash out the detail. The more rain that hits that track is going to pock it all out. What we call it pock marks, or rain pock marks, are going to wipe out any detail that we have in that track. So now our sense of urgency has to raise. So we're going to be bolder. We're still using track traps. We're still using wedges and small lost spore procedures. Nothing really dramatic. Lost spore procedures are ever increasing. It's a system of ever increasing options, and it increases by size. If I wanted to do a big circle, I can do that circle 100 yards in diameter. I can do that circle 2 miles in diameter and contain his area. What we're going to do now is we're going to keep doing our lost spore. We have a general direction. We're on it right now. We're going to find us a nice track trap, and we got to get there before he gets soaked and gets hypothermia. Out here, we've done a series of wedges. Finally, our last known right now, that solid footprint is about 100 yards back, maybe less. But as you saw, we systematically keep what we call cross-graining ahead of that track, and we pick up some aerial spore in the direction of travel going this way, and we're just going to keep following that line. You don't need solid tracks. All we do is eliminate the search area, or reduce the search area, and concentrate in this direction. Flattening in here, color change, and flattening. And you'll see I use words that describe what I see. That helps it to stick in your head better. He's not geared up to last out here very long. He's lost, he's not familiar with the area, and we've reached him just in time, and we're going to take him back to
Now, Freddy, tell me, where is the Tactical Tracking Operations School at?
Tactical Tracking Operations School is in Sierra Vista, Arizona. The school itself is called the Tracking Training Center. We've been teaching there in Sierra Vista, Arizona for the last 4 years, since 2005.
Okay.
45 years. So at that school I've been working there since April of 2008. I've taught U.S. Marshals, Drug Enforcement Agency agents, U.S. Border Patrol agents, people from the FBI, all major agencies in the United States. Currently, in the last 2 years, from there I've been teaching specifically Department of Defense personnel, U.S. Marines, U.S. Army, U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Navy. We also teach civilian tracking course, and that tracking course is called the Man Tracker Training System. And there's 5 levels of the tracking course. Each course is a day. That runs $95 a day. It's 8 hours of training or more. We're going to provide meals ready to eat in the field, or you can bring your own food. It's available at your location or my location in Sierra Vista.
Now, if there was enough interest up here in Pine Top, let's say, is there ever a chance where you come up here to teach classes?
Yes, definitely. I'm always looking for a reason to come up to Pine Top. So if all I need is 8 students, and I'll come up here and teach. If we have 8 to 16 students, I'll bring another instructor, and then we'll have a big class. And then we can actually get into the more people, the funner it is, and the more scenarios we can do to kind of try and trick each other and really have fun with tracking.
And if people wanted to find out how to have a class up here or how to contact you or the school, how would they do that?
The best way to do it is to contact, if you go to www.ttoscorp, that's ttoscorp.com, that'll bring you to our website, and through there there's contact information. There's also a sign-up roster on there. If you click on the Man Tracker Training System link, that'll take you to a roster where you can sign up, and if you have any questions on how to sign up through there, just call the phone number. You can always contact me, and we'll get you signed up.
Excellent. I mean, you're just a wealth of information. It's been really, really interesting. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. It was a good time.
And thank you for watching today's show. I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll tune in again next week for another edition of Steppin' Outdoors.